Okay, after I posted the unboxing of my new DeWalt table saw, I was asked to check how accurate this table saw is out of the box. So today, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay, so to properly align the blade and the fence, you're gonna need at least two types of measuring tools. One that will measure the angle of the blade, at least the 45, and the other will measure the distance to the blade and to the fence itself. Now all these measurements are made from the miter slot. Set your dial indicator snug to the blade. Don't set it to the tooth because there can be differences on the teeth. I usually do it on the blade itself. So right there, it's at 0. Now we're going to see. I can already see some difference. See that? See the indicator? Now you have these two bolts here right at the back of your DeWalt table saw. You have to undo those bolts in order for you to freely move the blade left to right. Okay, so I have adjusted the bolts in the back of the saw. You'll have to use one of these Allen keys. And now observe the difference. So it's just rubbing. The needle's barely moving. So we're going to move that to the back and we're going to measure exactly the same part of the disc at the back. There we go. It's rubbing. The needle is barely moving. So to me, you know, that is excellent. You can hear it rubbing. So I've spent a little bit with this, and it takes a little fiddling with it because sometimes you go and tighten the screws and they move the blade again, and then you have to untighten them again and then retighten them. It's a process, but once you get it done, it's dialed in beautifully. So this is one way of using the dial indicator, but you can use a caliper, you can use a ruler, you can use various types of measuring tools like I have shown here. As you can see here, this is another way that you can set up your caliper to check the alignment of your blade. So I have the caliper snugly tightened here with a clamp, piece of scrap, and over here you slightly adjust it to the blade. So it's barely kissing the blade. That's exactly what you want. Now, if you need to, obviously, you'll push in or out the needle to guide you through the process of aligning the blade itself. That's using the caliper. Another way you can check for alignment is if you have one of these, you can just find the reference point here on the miter gauge, like I have. Get your reference point and then put it right up to the blade and then just drag it along to see if you're good. If not, then you need to undo the bolts at the back and adjust it accordingly. The same way, you can use one of these combo squares. So all you have to do is use the same technique, find your reference point here, stretch out the ruler, have it touch the front of the blade, you know, drag it to the back, check your alignment, and that's the way to go. If you happen to have one of these digital calipers, then you can also check your distance the same way I checked without the digital caliper. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for the fence. For that, I will be lowering the blade. The same way the blade is aligned to the miter tracks, the fence is also aligned to the miter tracks. You can just bring it in. That's it. And now, you see, Alright, so it is a bit off. I will have to adjust it too. The fence system has this clip and release system. It moves out of the way just like that. Now the bolts that are holding the tracks, they have to be properly separated. Once you align one, you have to undo the bolt and align the other one by using the wrench. So I did move it a little bit, and I'll have to move this one too in order for it to be properly adjusted. So that's it. That one's done. That's good. I only needed to align the back. So the bolts you need to release are these, and then just like I mentioned, you need the wrench that fits perfectly right there and right there, and that's going to give you the perfect distance. Let's put the fence back on. Tighten it there, and tighten it there, and now let's bring it back to the dial. See how that goes. Alright, so it's touching. Let's see if you can hear it. Okay, there's still a little bit of the difference. This is the bolt. I undo it. And now I'll just tap it. There. That's it. Now let's see. That is, to me, that is awesome. That should give me a perfectly aligned fence to the miter track and the blade. Okay, so to set the angle for the blade, you have two stops at the front of your DeWalt saw. One is right over there, and the other one is right here. You're going to need one of these Allen wrenches so that you can adjust these once the angle is correct. Once you twist that, we'll turn this wheel, and that's where the saw will stop. Now, that's my 90. Tighten that. Should be good. To check for squareness, you can use various types of instruments. You can use one of these machinist squares. You can use one of these, I think they're called rafter squares. You can use one of these digital angle finder if you have one, or you can use one of these digital angle gauges or digital inclinometers as shown here. So to check for squareness, you can actually use your typical rafter square. That's exactly how you want your 90 degree. If you have one of these machinists squares, you can use that too. It's right on the money. These digital angle finders, you turn it on, you zero it out, and then you get your, that is on the money right there. So that's exactly how you want that. Or you can use your angle gauge, turn it on. That is good, very good. So once you set that to the right 90 degree angle, you will tighten the wheel and adjust the bolt so that the stopper will be in the right position. Now, for the angle, so that should be set back a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna have to undo this one a bit. A little bit more. Boom. That's it. That's my 45. That is good. This can be sometimes a tedious job, but once you got all of this dialed in, believe me, it's going to be worth it because your cuts will be spot on. Is the DeWalt DWE 7492QS accurate out of the box. You have to consider what these table saws are made for. These are job site saws. That's what they're made for. To answer the question right out of the box, they are accurate. But, we can finesse them a little bit more. And for that, we need some specialized tools. Okay, that's it. I hope you like it. I hope this video was useful. I'll see you on the next one.